Support for Radio Friends comes from Columbia Healthy Smiles, the dental office of husband and wife team Dr. Batson and Dr. Abe, offering comprehensive and customized care to patients of all ages. Learn more by calling 573-721-9039 or online at www.columbiahealthysmiles.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, January the 11th. We're going to talk about something that is really special to me, and that's trees. Trees, they give us our life breath, the oxygen that we breathe. And I want to introduce you to Dr. Joe Davis, who is chairman of the Missouri Tree Farm Committee.
That's right.
And you were named the Tree Farmer of the Year.
That's right.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you, and it's a great pleasure to be here with you, Paul.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit, first of all, about the importance of trees in our environment.
Absolutely. So we all know how important trees are. We were just having a discussion about our properties that we own and how special they are to us and our families. The truth is that well over 50% of the forests in Missouri are privately owned. So when it comes to managing this valuable resource, it really falls on the shoulders of private homeowners and property owners.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody listening to us has property of 10 acres or more, is that it? 10
Correct.
acres
So
or more.
the Missouri Tree Farm Program, which is a part of the American Tree Farm System, and for someone who's unfamiliar, the term tree farm is a bit of a misnomer because it's not. You might be picturing someone who has a Christmas tree farm or something like that, but what we're really talking about is forest stewardship, which is taking care of your property. So if you own 10 acres or more, then what I want to do is share with you the ability to connect with a forester or resources to get some help managing your property. When I purchased or owned my property, I didn't know much about forestry. I have no experience with forestry. So I really relied on a local resource forester to come out, walk through the woods, and develop a plan with me, which was completely free of charge. We've got some excellent foresters who work for the Department of Conservation, and one of their roles is working with private woodland homeowners to make good choices on their property.
Now, when you say develop a plan, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so the forester will walk through the woods with you, and every forest is different. So it's not like, unlike going to a doctor. You can Google your symptoms online, but going to a professional, having them look at the situation is going to be more helpful. So the plan consists of things such as maybe taking out invasive species that are in your forest, which can prevent native plants from growing. It might include a harvest of property. If a forest stand is overcrowded and someone decides they want to sell some of their timber, making sure that's done in an efficient and effective and best practice way is really important. So the plan can consist of all those things. For our plan, I have a family with 3 young kids and non-consumptive recreation, which is things like taking walks in the woods or bird watching. Those things are important, and those are included in the plan as well.
When they talk about, they'll come out and walk through your forest and point out any invasive species that you have. What if you decide that you don't want to take out any invasive species? You just don't want to take out anything.
Right. And I was in a similar situation where a lot of the things I was doing on my property, when you live on your property, sometimes those are factors. But the fact is, when you hear a forester talk about the value of our native environments that we have and the negative impact that some of those invasive species can have, they were very convincing to me. So I think, again, it's about hearing that from a professional.
What are some of the invasive species that you had to deal with?
So on my property, we had a lot of bush honeysuckle, which grows very rapidly. And what that does is it prevents small, we were talking about how much we like oak trees. Well, young oak trees need a lot of sunlight. And when bush honeysuckle takes over in a forest, young oak trees cannot grow and thrive.
They don't harm the old oak trees, though, do they?
That's true. So what will happen is you'll have old growth oak trees and then this mid-story and understory where a lot of that invasive species will grow, preventing new growth. So as older oak trees die, what eventually will happen is if you don't take care of those invasive species, what you're going to have is a forest of bush honeysuckle and no oak trees. Because eventually as those old oak trees die out, new ones cannot grow.
Okay. So that's one of the things. What else?
So another thing that that I was able to do is connect with cost share resources. So if I want to do something like there's a term TSI, which stands for Timber Stand Improvement, which is about going through the mid-story and cutting out some of the mid-story trees that again prevent oak trees from growing. So that work, I hired a consulting forester to come in and do that work, and I was able to get some cost share money to do that. And I also planted some walnut trees. We have a small walnut plantation, and I was able to get the cost of those small walnut saplings through cost share. So it's really saved me a lot of money as a property owner.
Did you do the work yourself? Did you plant the trees yourself?
I did plant the trees myself. The Timber Stand Improvement, where they come through and identify trees to take out, I don't necessarily trust myself to do that because, like, again, I'm not a forester. So having a consulting forester who knows the best way to do that, I did hire someone to come do that.
And you did take some trees out?
Yes, we did do a timber sale, and one thing we always encourage, and we're going to share a number in a minute for this great hotline, Call Before You Cut. If you're considering harvesting some timber on your property, making sure you have a consulting forester to do that, because if you just rely on a logger to come in, a lot of times
they can come in and make a mess.
They'll probably take all of the best trees, and
Right.
you want to leave some of those high quality trees to grow a new crop of trees.
So if you do a timber harvest, you have the right to tell the harvester, this tree, that tree, but don't touch this one.
Well, absolutely. As a property owner, ultimately it's your choice. And like I said, some property owners own 10 acres of forest land. Others, we own 80 acres of forest land, and some own thousands of acres.
Right.
So it's going to be determined a lot on your goals for the property.
Okay. But and you think about it, you realize how important the forest is. It's extremely important to our environment and then to our well-being also, not just for the clean air, but being able to take a walk in the forest, take a look at the native plants, take a look at those little wildflowers that are coming up in the forest floor, and even go hunting for morel mushrooms in the springtime.
My favorite part of this has been we have 3 young kids. So my 3 young boys will go for walks in the woods, and now we can point out, I know what kind of tree this is, or I know, just being an informed property owner and being able to share that with my kids, that has been the most valuable part of being part of the tree farm system. So our property is certified as a tree farm. I know your listeners can't see it, but the viewers can see the symbol on my shirt, which is the sign which we have on our property. And so anyone who has 10 acres or more and wants to be part of the program, we would love to have more properties certified.
Okay, so you for your property to be certified, though, you have to agree to do what the forester recommends.
So you and the forester work together to put that plan together. So it's very much a team effort. But again, the forester is the one who's coming in with that expertise and helping you try to manage your goals that you have. And once you've done that and you follow that plan, your property can become certified. There's another great program that's a tax abatement program, which greatly reduces property taxes on your forest land, which we were also part of. That's called Missouri Managed Woods. And that's something that when you go through this process with a forester, they can kind of walk you through that.
Okay, so if you want any information on this, the number to call, well, we've got the Call Before You Cut number, 877-564-7483.
Yes, and there's a website too, and the website is www.treefarmsystem.org/Missouri.
Okay. Give it to us again.
www.treefarmsystem.org/Missouri.
Okay, you got it. Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph Davis, for coming by. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul.
You're
Been a
awful
great
young
pleasure.
to be a doctor. Thank you. I appreciate it. I
Thank you,
enjoyed
Paul.
talking with you. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. Bye-bye.